It's Leanne in Adelaide, and it's winter, it's July, and I'm going to do a really quick garden tour. The garden really is not looking its best at the moment, and we have some major problems that we have discovered, and we're starting to address them now. We found out that we have, not only do we have in a lot of the garden really bad moisture levels, so I'm going to show you the bamboo now, and that probably doesn't look that bad, but when you get up close you can see how some of it is really quite dry, and especially if you pan up higher, you're talking about some of the stuff when you look at it without the sun shining behind it, which puts it in its best light. The sun shining behind it right now, but when it's not shining behind it, there's some really bad, lots of dry leaves. And coming over to here, they are all suffering really badly. So what we've discovered is that the soil was really water repellent, so we're addressing that now, and we've done part of it. And also it's highly alkaline, like highly, we're talking about 8.5 or higher, which is like well out of the range for most plants to be able to grow well. And that explains why, for example, here, and I did this in an earlier video, the tiger grass has, all the new leaves have a yellow appearance, and you can see the veins. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and move in. The veins are green, but the leaves have got a yellow colour. So I'm going to produce another video to explain what's going on there. It's too complicated now to do it in this video, so the rest of this video is going to be an update, a winter update of the back garden. You can see here where I converted the bird bath into a succulent planter, put some shells around it, and quite a few cuttings and propagations of string of beans. They've actually done really well, so some of them are nearly down to the ground. I've actually pulled some of those out earlier, a few months back, and propagated again. Very few flowers at the moment. So over here I've got a little hanging basket, string of pearls. It's a plant that's relatively old, but I did the classic wrong thing. I planted it up from a really small pot to a much larger pot, and you're not meant to do that with plants. They don't like it, but you learn. Over here got one of our ficus that there's a video that I made where we transplanted the ficus benjamina into larger pots. Now the pots before looked fairly large, and in the video this doesn't really look that large, but trust me, it's quite big. I've got 3 of those, one there, and just pan around. That's looking through to our kitchen. John's doing some cooking, and we've got some wine decanted there. So he wanted me to help out with the cooking, but I'm too busy filming, so I'll ignore him. So coming up here is the donkey's tails, or burrito tail, and that's hanging up from a little branch there in the ficus. And That was a really tiny cutting I got online. So it's taken forever. Like, that's probably a year old, but it almost died. It had about 3 leaves left on it, but it has survived. This one here is a bit older. I'd say that would be about 18 months old, and that's the rounder leaf one, and that's doing quite well. The sun's shining behind it, you probably can't see it that well, but it's got quite a different structure. So you can see how these leaves are, I've just knocked the plant so it's rocking a bit. You can see how they're quite rounded in shape, and that is totally different from the other plant, which has like a pointy end, which I'll show you in a moment. So these ficus have done quite well. That one is reaching up towards the ceiling again. I had to cut it back a while back, and it's still reaching up towards the top of that area in the alfresco. And then the third one is down the side of the house, which doesn't receive as much sun. So here we have the third one. That took a lot of work to get all 3 of those repotted. That's quite tall, that one. Getting up, probably not anywhere near 3 metres, but I'd say it's at least 2.5. So we've worked out that basically pretty much the whole garden is quite hydrophobic, so it repels water. If we don't do anything about it soon, like in summer, we're basically, going to lose heaps of plants. It's now winter, but we can't delay trying to rectify it. So anyhow, so got elephant ears here. That's been planted from, the original plant was from the plant on the balcony. Okay, it's not looking that well, but probably because it has a lack of water. It's alive, and it will have a decent corm underneath. So when spring comes, it'll spring back, and then by that stage, hopefully, we'll have sorted out the whole thing with the water repellent and the highly alkaline soil. And they've got a palm there that we bought from a place in Cavan in Adelaide, South Australia, and that's just starting to look good again. It got a really big hit with the hot weather. It didn't look that bad after the hot weather, but then the next few months after, it took a huge hit. And then scrolling around now, got some Dracaena marginata, a little water feature there. Those variegated rubber plants. And then looking across over here, I've got all sorts of plants I'm propagating. So in winter you really don't get much result wise. I'm just keeping things alive. The whole assortment. There's some, that's an aloe, I can't remember the name of it. We've got some sansevieria. We've got some jade plant over here. And you've got, I think that's called a crasher golon. I did some little planting of some little succulent bowls. There's one of them there. Got lots of little cuttings in little tiny bowls there. That's an aloe aristata, which eventually gets a really rounded shape, but when they're young they're more of a star shape. There's another one. Got some burrows tails that I've propagated. I've got heaps and heaps of string of bananas. I'll show you some of those now. I started with 3 plants and now I've got about 20. I've lost track. But some of them aren't that big, but here's one there. Another one next to it. And then you've got this one here, which is over there. You can see another one in front, middle side. You can see more there. Come and get it! So Johnny said come and get it. He's done all the cooking today and tea's ready. We're having crumbed prawns. South Australian Gulf prawns are the best in the world. So just quickly before I go, we've got a string of bananas, and that's like literally traying on the ground like probably another 30 centimetres at least. And then we've got this one here. That one's just barely reaching the ground. And the third one, that's traying on the ground quite a lot. And quickly pan over the other propagations I've done, etc. And then finishing off, finally, the backyard. Got palms, not much colour at the moment. Tiger grass, more palms. This one here's a golden cane palm. That one over there is a bungalow palm, and they've got more further in the garden as well. In the distance there you can see a few fronds there, little small ones. So happy with how things are in winter. Could be a lot better. We've got to do a lot of thinking about how we fix up our garden. There's some real serious problems with the alkalinity of the soil, and also serious problems with soil repellent soil, and we're fixing that up, and hopefully we'll do another video about that. Alright, so it's goodbye from Leanne in Adelaide.